I mean, I can smell violence in the air, and I've been saying that now for about at least a year. SPA is going to set off a series of violence that me and you have not seen since the Troubles in Northern Ireland. I don't want violence. I really don't want violence, but I can't see a way out of this now.
First, Nick Buckley, former Manchester mayoral candidate and author. Afternoon to you, Nick. I mean, I keep using these phrases, Alice in Wonderland kind of world. We've gone upside down. It's all skew if everything's out of focus. There's a sort of malaise out there at the moment, an underpinning of madness in our country.
And it's taken us decades and decades and decades to get to this point now. This Labour government may be incompetent, but so has the last 3, 4, 5 governments we've had in this country, all been incompetent. The only difference between this Labour government and the Tory governments was this government is so bad, it can't even lie correctly. It can't even lie at a competent level. At least the Tories were good at lying, but this government can't even lie to us where most of us believe it. So that's where they're failing, not good enough liars. But this issue we've got at the moment, I can smell violence in the air, and I've been saying that now for about at least a year. We're almost at the brink. We're on a knife's edge. We're waiting for one more spark, and the next spark is going to set off a series of violence that me and you have not seen since the Troubles in Northern Ireland. That's how bad it's going to get. There's still time to turn this around. It will take the government to U-turn on so many things, but they can stop this. They can turn this around. And you were just saying a minute ago about some people, protesting, it turns to violence. Some idiots are throwing bricks, which always seems to happen. But you need to ask yourself, why does it get to that stage? Because people for decades and decades have been telling the government what they want them to do. And the governments have been lying to us and promising they're going to end mass migration. They're going to heavily reduce mass migration. Every government says that, and every government does the opposite. And people are now saying, what else can we do? What can we do in a democracy when the people won't listen to the people anymore? And I don't want violence. I really don't want violence. But I can't see a way out of this now.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a delicate situation. It is a shame that there is that sort of very small, and it is small, contingent that, the brick throwers and, let's jump on a police van and try and attack a cop. I want to see those people put in jail like anybody else does. But the majority of people that I've looked at and spoken to who've been on those kind of protests are nothing of the sort. They're, their mothers, their daughters, their family people who are saying, this is, from so many different angles, whether it's about social cohesion, whether it's about danger, whether it's the fear of the unknown, whatever it happens to be. In those areas, if you put hundreds of people into a hotel in a small town somewhere, then the idea that locals, unidentified people, by the way, we have no idea who these people are. If they jumped the barriers at Heathrow Airport and then been put into a hotel, then we'd be thinking, hang on, that's a bit weird. But for some reason, it's almost given a free pass. And then those that do want to protest are kind of written off as right-wing thugs.
And again, been going on for decades. Why do we, let's be honest, closing our borders is an easy thing to do. If I was in power tomorrow, I could close our borders in 24 hours and make sure not one more illegal person entered across the channel. That's how easy it is to do. Don't let anyone tell you the opposite. It's easy. All it requires is a backbone. And we haven't got anyone in authority with a backbone to leave the European Court of Human Rights, to get us out of the UN Convention of Refugees, to go against the woke, to go against the, shouldn't we all be pink and fluffy? These people are refugees. They're fleeing war. They're fleeing at over 15 European countries to get to our country. We haven't got anyone with a backbone. That's what we're missing, a backbone to solve some of our problems. With a backbone with stature.
I was going to say, Nick, I sense it's, particularly with this government, it's kind of not in their DNA. They're uncomfortable in calling it out and telling it like it is. I've lost count of how many journalists now have made their way to Calais to talk to some of the people, many of them brutally honest. I don't believe all of these people trying to get across is a mad rapist who wants to do horrible things to your kid. But I am nonetheless still concerned why somebody unfettered and, in fact, unrequired and not allowed to comes. It's not a shopping list of oh, I fancy living there. Most of these guys will go, yeah, I want to come to the UK, I want to get a job because I come from a place that's not very nice, Eritrea, Iran or something. Yeah, I agree. I think if I was them, I'd be giving it a go probably. But that doesn't mean to say we should be going, yeah, come along, in you come. And of course, governments struggle to call that out because I sense they're scared witless of being accused of, being something horrendous or some nut job or extremist if they dare simply speak the truth.
Racist. Please don't call me racist. Please don't call me racist. That's our political class.
Yeah.
And let's look at the people who are trying to come over. I agree with you. Most of them are not criminals. Most of them are not rapists. A significant portion are. The UK at the moment is the rape capital of Europe. The rape capital of Europe, the UK is now. But let's look at these individuals. What I would say to these individuals is, first of all, you're not wanted. You're not wanted in our country. Put that straight. You're not wanted. Why don't you go home and stop being cowards and running away from your own problems and running away from your own ancestral homeland? Stop being a coward. Go fix your home. Don't abandon your women, your children, your mothers, your aunties, your children, whatever. Fix your homelands. This is why the third world never gets any better. Because in the West, we allow them to be cowards and run away from their responsibilities and to build a better country. We're trying to help them all the time.
Nick, listen, I've got to cut in there for no other reason than time. Very robust stuff. And thank you as ever, Nick Buckley, MBE, former Manchester mayoral candidate and author.